This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Hear myself? Can you hear me? Kermit, I can't hear myself now. Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. I'm hoping that I can hear myself. Not hearing it through the microphone though still, Kermit. But today is Thursday, March 19th. It's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry and I shall be your host for today. We're going to have an open line Thursday. Some guests canceled, so we're going to be talking about one or two things. Okay, I can hear myself now, Kermit. Thanks very much. I have one or two things I want to discuss, actually hash out. So I need the listening audience to bear with me as I hash it out. Then I want you to come and join in and to see if what I'm talking about does it make sense, or whether it's utter foolishness, or whether I'm reaching, right? But I can need you, those people who in the know, those people who are on the ground, who watches and analyze things, to call in, to text in, to help me flesh this out. I'm going to be talking about boundaries, the Boundaries Commission, and the election. They're similar, but I'm trying to flesh out something that I notice that I'm not sure if other people notice, and I'm trying to reach out and connect to those other people who tend to watch things. Now, I didn't do much research on it. This is going to be one of those surface type conversation. So don't judge me too harshly because it's a surface type conversation. But the conversation is going to be genuine, means that I sincerely notice something, and I want to know if you sincerely notice the same thing. So let's start with calling one or two constituencies. These are what I've noticed. We're going to start off with Killarney. I wondered if anyone noticed that Killarney has some of its constituencies, its polling divisions moved. I wonder if some of you noticed that Killarney had some of its polling division moved and was moved into the new constituency, St. James. And I was going back and watching and in terms of Googling the outcomes and trying to find out what I keep on using that word wrongly, what polling divisions was moved out of Killarney and placed in St. James. And I want you to follow me here because I believe that there was some manipulation. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying that the fixing of the boundaries for a reason. And this is what the conversation about. What is the reason? I'm going to say what I think. And then I want you to call and tell me what you think. The boundaries that I noticed that was moved out of Killarney were what I call diehard PLP supporters' seats. And I said, why would the powers that be, I'm not saying this is the government, the powers that be, agree to move what I call like 2 or 3 polling divisions that was what I call a PLP stronghold that they could have used, and I can call her name, that Ms. Langs could have depended on. But they moved it out of Killarney and placed it into St. James, leaving more what I call Ephraim stronghold polling divisions in Killarney. Remember, I made an argument before, and I said I don't think the PLP is helping Miss Lyons enough. They're promoting a Hubert Minnis agenda in their speeches and their talks. And I said, this is odd. This is the first political party tends to promote the opponent. And I wonder why is that. Then I noticed that they move the stronghold PLP polling divisions out of Killarney and place it into St. James. I hoping more likely to help Owen Wells, and we all know that Owen Wells is a lawyer. I'm not sure which law firm he used to work for. Of course I know. I'm not sure which law firm he used to work for, but somebody is helping him out by putting more PLP polling divisions there. And that's things I noticed. Then I looked at Killarney again, then realized that part of Fort Charlotte, you know there's a big controversy with Travis Robinson and Sebastian Bastian, right? Whether who's going to win Fort Charlotte. And I said, but most parts of Fort Charlotte has what I call that White Grove moving west, which tends to be proponents of the Free National Movement. And then they have the inner city parts also would tend to be PLP. I've noticed that, and I want to know if you notice, callers, a listening audience, that they have also moved parts of F&M strongholds out of Fort Charlotte and put that also in Killarney. 2 sets of F&M stronghold polling divisions. Some in what I call the western area, and some what I call in the northeastern area, which is what I call the West Grove. And I said, why would they purposely put F&M stronghold polling divisions in Killarney? Who are they trying to help? The powers that be, of course. They're not saying that a political party would do that to their own people. But they put 2 strong sets of what I call F&M strongholds polling divisions into Killarney. Then now we're going back now to Fort Charlotte. So Fort Charlotte has been changed, the polling divisions here and there, because the outline. And I've noticed that they now brought into Fort Charlotte some parts of Baintown. I mean, most parts of Baintown is a PLP stronghold. And they moved the F&M stronghold or whatever proponents they could get F&M support out of Fort Charlotte and put 2 polling divisions that are PLP strongholds into Fort Charlotte. And I asked the question, who are they trying to help? I wonder if anyone was taking note of this, right? I also note that what I call, Grand Bahama, I noticed also in Grand Bahama, that Pine Ridge has also changed. And people would say, but Grand Bahama is a different scenario. But Pine Ridge has a PLP member of parliament. So I said, man, we know where her stronghold is and how she needs to win. But I see that, and I forget, it escapes me now, the constituency that the leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, has been also divided. And I'm assuming that I would understand that they're trying to challenge the leader, right? But they move polling divisions that would usually support Michael Pintard, the F&M. Polling divisions that would usually support the F&M, and they moved it into Pine Ridge. And I said, okay, I will try to talk with the leader of the opposition too. Say, man, if I get a chance to mash him up, I would change the polling division. But then they have a senior person in Pine Ridge. And I said, but why would they do that to their own? And I'm noticing that's two women, they do it too, right? I ain't saying nothing, right? I'm just saying I'm noticing things. And I want to know if you are noticing things also, that a manipulation of polling divisions, which I call to support certain set of people, right? And basically, my word, endangering persons who I thought they would need more support and campaign help, whatever it is, risking those people. And I said, this is some interesting type of politics we're doing here. And I wonder if anyone else noticed this manipulation of polling divisions for whatever benefit. It doesn't bother me. But I said I would mention it. So when the election comes about, and if things go awry, if things go differenter, right? I'm going to say, see it right there. Call you live. This is Guardian Radio AM. This is CA Newry. How can I help you this morning?
Thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Question. Who chooses how divisions go?
What do you mean by chooses?
Who chooses?
The Constituency Boundary Commission.
Okay, and that's controlled by the government, right?
It is mostly government, but they have F&M representatives in the commission also.
Now, I have a theory, right? That philosophically, even if you're F&M, if you are a certain age, philosophically you are still a PLP in terms of how you think.
I would challenge you and say there's no philosophy in any of the political parties. They're all the same.
No. I'm not talking about the philosophy. I am not talking about the philosophy of the political party. I'm talking about the philosophy of the Irish Bahamian. Okay, we are all.
I can pause you there and ask you, what is the philosophy of the average Bahamian?
Okay, we all dwell on the 1967.
I have no idea what you're talking about. 67. I born after that.
And that's why the problem. And that's the problem there.
No. You confusing me. No, slow down. No. Let's talk back and forth.
Okay.
You just say the majority of people adopt the philosophy of 67. I learned it more than most. I read a lot. I would even go as far as say I smart, right? I study history. The philosophy of 67 is lost to me. That doesn't bother me. So anyone who is born after 67, we call us born free people. That's what what John Bostwick's son name? John Bostwick say we are born free people. That 67 agenda is not us. You come and say we have a 67 agenda, and I say the majority of us don't know 67, and then you say you change your story. You change your story. Say, see, that's what I mean.
No. I'm not changing the story. I didn't say we have a 67 agenda. I said we have a 67 philosophy.
What is that?
I was 14 in 1967. Right now I'm past 70. So I got a good view of the political landscape. Okay? Now, politics being what it is, politicians tend to do what's in their best interests. Okay? Now, when you look at this thing with this boundary change and movements, right, in an attempt to maximize whatever they think will happen, my fear is that it's going to backfire because it's going to cause people to remember who they were and where they have voted historically all their lives. Now, it's a good move in terms of, if we were to say last year, but this year, we are in a whole different landscape, especially as far as what voters are demanding. I mean, just this morning, right, there's a story in The Guardian about 8 names that had false passports, and those same names were found on the current register, right?
And I want you to go on with that, right? But I still want you to give the connectivity to 67. You haven't done that yet.
No. I'm trying to give you a context, Mr. Newry.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to get the
since
reference.
You're not informed, since simply because of your age.
See,
you are not informed.
I hear you. And I want to talk about what you want to talk about, but you mentioned 67 and culture and philosophy. You just haven't addressed it yet. It's a long conversation. I'm giving you some long time. But I can give you some more time.
Okay. I will put it in a context that you can understand. You know our white Bahamians, right?
Yes, I know white Bahamians.
Okay. You know that a huge percentage of them became millionaires after 67, right?
No, I don't know that, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no. Many of them expanded tremendously after 67 because, even under their old regime, these guys are being held down. Okay, I hang with a couple of them, so I know.
Are you able to call any kind of business so I can have some reference? So, any kind of business so I can have reference. So I understand.
Okay. See, when I'm talking about a PLP philosophy, that is what I'm talking about, basically.
And again, I still ain't see it, Colum. I'm hoping that you explain yourself, but you're confusing us.
No. See, you want to conflate philosophy and agenda.
I just want to understand what you mean by philosophy.
Okay. I'm trying to explain to you what I understand, but you are trying to place me on a side road.
I'm just saying you're doing a poor job. Poor job trying to explain it.
Okay. I'm doing a poor job. You're doing a poor job too.
Okay. But go ahead. That's why I'm giving you time, You're just using your time constructively to explain this either Bahamian philosophy or the PLP philosophy. You don't do none of that yet.
Okay. As early as 1967, 68, it was understood by members in the PLP that their party was off track, especially after 68. Okay? Now, when Ed Moxie had the thing in Coconut Grove that expanded and got bigger and bigger and bigger every year without any support from government at all, it was seen as a dangerous exercise in folks exercising a Bahamian philosophy. Okay? That thing we call the Coconut Grove Festival, its name was changed to Jumbay Village, and we took it on the western side of Blue Hill Road, where it did not prosper. After a couple of years, it would mow down. Now, if the philosophy that Ed Moxie and Oscar Johnson and Cecil Wallace Whitfield and them, if their philosophy, if that PLP philosophy they had was being exercised genuinely,
you still haven't identified what the philosophy is.
A Coconut Grove Festival, it should have been established in every constituency in this country.
See, now you're politicking and moving away from your point.
No. I'm talking about, because the Coconut Grove Festival did not rely on government support. It relied on Bahamians, and it expanded Bahamian culture and Bahamian participation in stuff. Everybody came over the hill between 67 and 69. Okay? But it was a philosophy they can understand. Now, we're still trying to get back to that in our politics. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm speaking about a Bahamian philosophy. We don't need...
It's a misnomer you're using now.
We don't need politics or politicians trying to explain to us what our culture should be. They see culture as a tool. We see culture as a way of life. And that is what I mean when I speak about a Bahamian philosophy. Now, You understand me now?
No, not at all. You lost
Oh,
me.
well.
It was
Buddy, then
caller. I appreciate your attempt.
you need to get
your
you
definition,
need to,
your
you need
verbiage.
you need to research your own
poor.
history.
No, I know history now.
I'm not. No.
And you cited
you are
parts-
extremely naive in some
Perhaps.
areas, my brother.
Perhaps, but
And
you
you
did
have-
not explain what philosophy means.
And you have said no. I have explained it.
You did.
I know a couple of folks listening on the radio understand what I am saying.
Then let them
Okay.
call in too.
But see, but like you say, right?
Mm-hmm.
The issue is the agenda,
Now-
not the philosophy.
Okay.
Your words, not mine.
I hear you, caller.
All right.
I know you meant well. I hear you. I trying to have you explain what you said was a Bohemian philosophy, and then you said a PLP philosophy, and then you move on to agenda. And I don't know if you appreciate what the word philosophy means. I see you try to use some historic reference to line what you were saying, and I said, caller, you're going off track. I just need you to explain what the philosophy of the Bohemians are, right? And you say, oh, some politicians or Bohemians want to express themselves, and you said they don't have the right, even though they're Bohemians. See, it get confusing, convoluted. Let's go to the callers again before I move on to the conversation. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio, AM, you're live.
Yeah, good morning, CA.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, CA with you, man. I wasn't born in 67, man. So, you give them a long, long time. How do people hold in? And
Yeah, like, forgive me.
Like you, I confuse.
Good, forgive me, caller. Forgive me. Because I tried my best to let him explain.
But let me say this. The only thing I agree with him with 67 is gerrymandering is wrong from 67 to, if you look at the famous photo of Sir Milo and Sir Lyndon marching downtown with the placards in 66 or something, saying stop the gerrymandering and the commission, stop fooling with the boundaries commission. Now, every party for the last 30 years, 29, 30 years, was gerrymandering and fooling with the commission. But like the late Bradley Roberts always used to say, boundaries don't vote. People vote. Now the government been changing for the last 5 years. And each one of those parties, the governing party, deal with the boundary, trying to cut the PLP out, just trying to get Branwell McCartney to lose, or this one and Michael and trying to get Pintard to lose, taking the F&M out there and putting them here. They just do it in the by-election with Darren Pitstock. They take some of brown people now and put it in St. James. Some they want the PLP lose in this situation. That was going on from 67. Yes. That's the only thing I agree with him. But the only thing I could say, what does late Bradley Roberts say? Boundaries don't vote. People vote. So government still being changing, even though they being changing up the boundary. So like you say it right. It only got backfire on them. All right, have a great morning.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
And I want to know or find out why would they jeopardize, risk some of their senior women? Because I have noticed it. I tend to speak out for women as much as I can and herald them as best as I can, right? And I'm noticing things. And I was wanting to know if anyone else notices things as they realign the boundaries, right? For whatever agenda they realign it for, right? And I'm saying that I'm watching. I want to know if anyone else out there is watching. Right? There is a report today where the leader of the opposition table, or suggested, let me change the word now, suggested that there are some strange things are happening regarding the Bohemian passport. For a while, we've been saying, hey, Mr. Opposition, we hear your concern, but the integrity of the Bahamas may be at risk in terms of the verbiage you use. If you have specific examples of what you are saying, report it to the police. And if you're just trying to be generalizing in general, note that you may jeopardize the country without furnishing strong examples that we can use, right? That is a debate that we need to question. I know a number of Bohemians are concerned about the number of supposed migrants. It seems as if their numbers have increased. You hear anecdotal stories about people, Haitian migrants with passports, and there's an increase and proliferation of that. And I'm not sure if the current administration is addressing it properly. They may have an explanation for what's happening now, but they are not addressing it satisfactory enough for the Bohemian people to deal with it. Callers, I see you all. Callers, I see you all. I'm going to bring all y'all in on the next side of the conversation. Don't hang up if you're not on a cell phone. As soon as I come back, you'll be first, and I'll let you go on with the conversation. This is Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. We'll be right back.
Can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood. We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too? Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami. So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles. Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal. So what we want? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Get set. Track and field fans, it's that time. Time for the B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Come see the country's finest young athletes in blazing battles on the track and fierce field competition as they look to book their tickets to the 53rd Carifta Games in St. George's, Grenada on the Easter holiday weekend. Who will make the team to represent the Bahamas? Be there for the B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Competition starts at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 20th and 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, March 21st and 22nd. General admission, $12. Children under 12, $8. $20 VIP. 3-day passes are $34 general admission, $20 children under 12, and $58 for a 3-day VIP pass. The B3A Carifta Trials, March 20th through 22nd. Don't you miss it.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. Let's go to the phone lines to include the callers. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM, you're live.
Good morning, CA. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning to you.
Awesome. I just joined in maybe about 10 minutes ago and kind of got a general gist. I especially love the conversation about the Jumbie Village aspect of it and then the boundary lines. Fortunately for me, I was privileged to have the opportunity to visit Jumbie Village in its early heydays, and I believe that it was a wonderfully conceived concept for the community. In fact, it did draw many diverse persons from across our population, both blacks, whites, visitors, everybody came out for that period of time, and for a while we tried to understand. Why did that concept actually collapse after a period of time? We really enjoyed going there, but it's just sad to see that what was supposed to be a form of bohemianization and also a representation of our culture just disappeared off the map. So, that was something that was kind of interesting. The part with the boundaries, though, what is quite interesting is I wonder if through the changes in the boundaries, according to, it seems the only time you really hear about the boundaries shifting is during election time. And I'm trying to understand what's the real practical purpose behind it besides trying to balance out the communities in terms of, hey, this number in this constituency is too large. Let's reduce that number, cut the line and put some of these people in another constituency, so on and so forth. But where's the statistical information that kind of shows a reason why persons perhaps may have resided in this community and moved out of this community and moved into another community? Why did they leave? What is the purpose why they may have left that area? What research has been done to see that it would have encouraged people to move out, and what improvements, if it's an infrastructural consideration or whatever, what improvements have been made in that area to people in numbers back to that area? So I'm basically looking at statistics, and sadly to say, this country does not keep good statistics at all. Especially trying to get something in a timely basis or as close to accurate as possible. That seems to be a problem here in this country. So that's just my 2 points. I just, kind of put it out there for Bahamians to consider, because there's nothing you can do right now. And in fact, I just did it about 3 weeks ago, where I needed statistical information on crime from the Department of Statistics standpoint. And I just couldn't find accurate, up-to-date statistics for the information, for why I needed the information. But anyway, thanks for taking my call, CA. I'll continue to listen.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Let's engage the second caller. One of the issues I found concerned with the listing that the leader of the opposition put in the House was a person listed said was born in Haiti in 2012, right? They presented their father's document to say, well, they are entitled to Bahamian citizenship because their father was Bahamian. Then when you research it, you find out that the father's document was fraudulent. Whatever documents they put in was fraudulent. Then I want to know what happened to the person who applied for the passport or for the citizenship. Were they deported? Were they rejected? What happens when we find out that someone presented false documentation to apply for any Bahamian document, passport or citizenship? Do they get a fine? Do they get a prison term and then released? We seeing people getting bail. Surely they're supposed to be stopped on a stop list. It should be made public. His face should be plastered. So this is the person who used a fraudulent document, and we know what we're doing with them. We just don't know. They just seem to disappear. That information is not, the Bahamian people is not privy to. And I heard the passport people and hearing the voter registration people saying when they get the information, they strike them off the list. But what happens to the person? I will know about that. Let's go to the caller. Guardian Radio AM. This is CA Newry. Go ahead.
Newry.
Hey, you live.
Morning, man. Listen to me. You get me in a loop now. What should happen with the person? They need to find the person who get the person the document.
Okay, let's
That's
pause.
what they need to find.
I agree.
And
But
give
hold on.
them.
But let's talk.
What
should hold on. Let's talk. I'm going back and forth with you.
Yeah.
What should happen to the person who turned in the false document?
You need to find a way to get it from.
Hold on. I asked him ABC. I ain't reached that part yet. You only answer the first part. Let's start over again. What should happen to the person who turned in the false documents?
They should be arrested.
Now I can go to the next question. And when they get arrested and we doing our investigation, should we ask them where he get the false documentation from?
To.
And if he helps in terms of finding out where the ring of who producing the false document, are we prepared to give him a lesser sentence in order to...
the lesser sentence that you give him, you add it on to the person who he got it from.
And so far, Have you? We've heard of people getting arrested and getting fines for presenting false document, but have you heard anything about the investigation of where they get the information from?
I haven't heard nothing about that as yet. But
see, this is where
they don't have a machine to print up a passport. See, the problem with the passport, the passport is not illegal,
The passport is legal.
The passport is legal.
Yes.
The person that has the passport is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to get it through some channel.
Yes. Some false documentation.
What I wanted to say, too, the thing what Muff said about Bradley Roberts. Bradley Roberts said you could change the line, but you can't change the people's mind. Don't blame him. He voted PLP.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back to, you started off with these boundaries cut on polling divisions coming out of Kalani.
Yes.
The Kalani constituency, let me concentrate on that first.
Mm-hmm.
Kalani has 2 FNM candidates. Now, which one of the FNM candidates had the most FNM votes? They will come second.
Mm.
They'll come second. They can't win. They'll come second. Because they have to share. All Ms. Robin Likes have to do is secure 37 to 40% of the votes, and she win.
And this is my theory, and I hear you, and I accept that. Until I found they shipped out where they had the PLP stronghold seats, where you sure to have the PLP support, they put that in St. James. So the people, hold on, the people who you would normally say these would be the PLP diehards in Kalani, they gone.
But
they
let me say
now in
this,
St. James.
If I had a chance to work on the boundaries committee, I would have almost do the same. See, you're not worrying, but the FNM's really like, I won't say you weren't worrying, but the FNM has a battle they fighting now between Dr. Minnis and Ms. Michael Barnett Ellis. Them two have a fight on their own.
I
All
that.
Robin Likes has to do is hold her ground, hold her people, and she wins.
My point is, her people in St. James. But you ain't hear me. But you gotta listen. Her people are now in St. James.
Say?
Her people, who you're talking about, who she got a hold on, are now in St. James.
No, man, the PLP is all over the place. PLP has a base.
This is why we're doing the numbers.
If you go to heaven or hell, you might find a PLP base or FNM base.
And I hear, you.
The FNM base has to now square in two. They need to figure the people who could have sympathy for Dr. Minnis, the people who could feel bad out of FNM 3 Dr. Minnis, they gave it Dr. Minnis.
And I
the people who say this, FNM and they ain't going nowhere, they ain't care who they send, they gave it Ms. Barnett. That a PLP in between, they gave it the PLP. The PLP votes ain't a share.
And I agree with that until I found out they moved the PLP votes to St. James.
Yeah, I hear what you're trying to say.
There aren't any.
James was a
there's a
constituency that
small.
had to be made up. However you look, they could put FNM and PLP in St. James.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right? But what I wanted to say, too, up in, you call another constituency other than Kalani, but I was holding on so long. You said something about Fort Charlotte.
Fort Charlotte. They moved two polling divisions from Beantown into Fort Charlotte, and then move polling divisions out of what do you call it, West Grove, into Kalani.
Yeah, Kalani is, like I said, the FNMs in Kalani. If they for Dr. Minnis and they feel sorry for what they do, they gonna vote for Dr. Minnis. See, this fight in Kalani ain't a FNM and a PLP fight, you know. There's a Minnis and a Michael Barnett fight. It's them two trying to fight Sue could come second. They trying to see who could come second or them two. All Ms. Likes has to do is secure 37 to 40% of the votes and she win automatic. All Dr. McIver can do in this race is get thank you for coming. She'll get about 400 votes the most if she get that much.
I believe Dr. McGuire will get at least 9 to 10% of the votes.
She'll get no more than 400 votes.
No, that could be at least
as a man to
700.
take chances, I'll take a chance with that with you.
At least there's 700, 800 votes she's going
Well, she gets 700. Well, I don't believe that she's going to get the most votes out of all of the COI candidates. I'm sure of that. She'll be able to secure
She
the
has
votes.
launched an awesome campaign in terms of
yes,
campaigning.
She is. Very impressive. Way better than the leader.
Pound for pound.
Way better than the leader.
Yeah, pound for pound. She must be given credit for that.
You must give it to her. That's why I say she's running a better campaign than the leader of the COI.
I agree with you.
Way better. She's running the best campaign in the group.
And
I don't
you have
know
to give her
because
respect
of the
for
money
it.
that she has. And every day now, I hear next one in Ilutra drop out the race.
It's
for
two.
the COI.
It's two
so they
so
drop
far.
out one drop out of being St. Barnabas, one drop out of Saudi Lutra. They just dropping down like before the fight started. They just falling out.
These things happen in politics.
Boy. But it can be interesting. I can continue listening to you, though.
Thanks very much, Cole.
Yeah, man.
The line's full. Let's see if I can speed them up and get a lot of more people to participate. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM, you live.
Hey, CA, what's up, man?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
All right, good. Let me ask you a question, right? From a voter standpoint. If I'm looking at a candidate, and I'm looking at a candidate trying to make a determination as to the viability of either, giving them my vote. And let's say I have a candidate that in their declaration, or rather than say the candidate, the party, so let's just use party. And I noticed that in that party, you have more than 60 to 70% of the individuals that are for a position. And their asset is less than $55,000. Do you consider that a liability, them being a liability, or you consider that being something that should be given consideration?
Obama, I go back to Obama to explain my point. He was a community organizer. He didn't have much money, but his wealth was in his organization. His organization had money as he managed people and events. In contrast to the Bahamas, we have people who are making like $55,000, right? With no organization. They have no community building, no infrastructure to propel themselves forward to say, well, their wealth, and not financially, but their wealth is in people and managing people. They don't have that neither. So a person who making $55,000, a working class person with bills, who has no community organization skills or entity to back them, they are a liability.
Right. And another point I just want to mention, and I'm just trying to understand this. In the last administration, I think there were individuals that declared their net worth less than $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
5 years later, we look at where that individual is now, or individuals are now. And we're not fools as locals. Living in $1 million plus home and all these other things. This is why I say we need to take this thing serious. We need to understand that sometimes it would appear that it's better financially for persons who get in after they leave, whether they leave voluntarily or involuntarily. Apparently, financially, they're in a super position. So should that be an incentive for people to run in politics? Because it seems as though they're in a better financial position than when they were before they exited. 5 years later, some people are millionaires. And in a real world, we don't even understand our question. How can that happen? They need to tell us the secret.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Shingles is fixed many roofs. That's all I can say. Shingles has fixed many roofs. Let's go to the next caller there. Patch the caller through to me, Kermit. Guardian Radio AM, you live.
Hey, what's up, this here?
I'm doing well.
I think the PLP women has done this to themselves. And let me quantify why I'm saying that. The Prime Minister's wife got up a couple of months ago in the media and said that this marital rape ought to be looked at or ought to be passed in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Which PLP woman get up to defend them? May get up to defend that statement, or whether it need to be amendment or any adjustment, anything. Not a single one of them.
PLP women don't speak for women's rights. They don't speak at all.
I just going to ask you, how many PLP women you heard speak about women's rights or speak about children's rights? How many many kids being molested or being in an incest relationship with their parents or guardians and so forth, and not marks the word from the women in the PLP.
They're in an all-boys club. They are ontologically men.
Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that the PLP itself pushed the PLP women aside because they haven't spoken up for themselves. So why should someone else speak up for them? And let me just add also, I call it from Grandmama. The PLP they will not win one seat in Grandmama. No matter how much they move the lines, they will not win one seat. And the reason why, because the PLP have done nothing in the last 4.5 years that they can touch that said the PLP left or the PLP did. When the F&M government left, the F&M left the money in the bank for the hospital. Dr. Davos said, we sent the money back. Didn't say we used it somewhere else, said we sent the money back. They left the deal on the table for the hotel and the airport. The Deputy Prime Minister said it was a bad deal, so we cancel it. A part of that deal was the cruise port in Paradise Island. That cruise port is now open and functioning. We would have had a functioning airport, a functioning hotel, if they had left that cruise port, left that Arlequin deal in place. So the PLP has done grave damage to Freeport and the people in Freeport. Now they're picking a fight with the Port Authority and picking a fight with the power company. You can't manage your own power grid. Your own government departments are failing. Bahamas Air, PH, all these government entities are failing. And still you want to try to take on the next one? Get out of town. I'll hang up and continue to listen.
Yes. Because of what the government, the PLP administration has done to Grand Bahama, Pine Ridge, West End is at risk. They need to speed up and do something soon, something tangible soon, because Pine Ridge, and West End is now at risk. Right? I have a text said, remember Robin Lyons, she speaks it all the time. I don't think that she's a member of parliament. I was talking about member of parliament women. They don't speak out. And hopefully if Miss Robin Lyons win Kalani, I don't think her political party is helping at all, right? They sacrificing her, moving the boundaries. Perhaps she would be one MP that would speak out and defend women and young girls, defend them in terms of the society in general. Hopefully that happens. Let's go to the caller. Guardian Radio AM, the CA Newry. Go ahead, caller. Call you live. Let's move on to the next one. Guardian Radio AM, you live. Call you there. We clearing all the lines? We clearing all the lines. I'm just saying that I'm noticing some things, especially with the boundaries. Things that I think the Progressive Liberal Party should be doing to protect their women. I don't think they're doing, especially I highlight two female candidates where I said, why risk them? Why manipulate the boundaries and risk them? You're supposed to give them sure opportunities to win. I said, I haven't noticed it. I'm not sure if they have noticed it. But let's see if I can squeeze these callers in. Guardian Radio AM, you live? Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, you live?
Okay, this situation with these floods and passport, right? Hello?
Yeah, you live. Go ahead.
Okay, I think this issue under the F&M administration, because what's happening now, they found them up because these guys try to use them. You just can't issue a passport here and found that it's fraudulent. This had this issue was 8 to 9 years ago. You think that's new? They just found out, because when you go to get reviewed, then they found that it's fraud. That's how they find out. That's why they're in the system now. Thank you.
Well, that's plausible. That's plausible. I just know I think we have a problem. And I need someone to acknowledge that we do have a problem so we can address the problem. I don't think that a number of our leaders see it as a problem that we're going through right now. And that is concerning about me. Let's go to this last caller. Caller, Guardian Radio AM, you live? Call you there? Call going once. Call going twice. Okay, that caller's going. I just saying that a number of things we need to address. A number of things we need to be more analytical about, purposeful about. The caller called back now at the end. Let's see if we can squeeze them in, caller. They calling like crazy. It seemed like. Go ahead, caller. I'm trying my best to let you contribute. Go ahead. See?
Hello.
Go ahead. You live. Go ahead.
Hi, morning. You addressing with the PLP and with the PLP We need someone. You need to do a show on who is looking out for the disabled. A lot of disabled people out here and they're hurting, but nobody's talking about what they're going to do for the disabled. Come on, man, you need to do a show for the disabled, man.
The disabled need to organize themselves and protest downtown. When will you all organize yourself and say, we will not tolerate what's happening to us? Block the House of Assembly with your wheelchair.
What happened to the council, man? The council fall up. What happened to the council?
You remember-
The council is closed down and you can't get no answers. Who have the keys for the council? You can't even open it to have meetings or nothing like that. Come on, man, disabled people out there, they could vote too, you know.
I agree, ma'am. And hopefully we'll continue to lobby on your behalf. I remember when they moved the money from the disabled people and pay for Obi Wilchcombe memorial service. No, y'all ain't make no noise. Y'all ain't complain. It was my money.
Permission to do, but we need help also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I need to have a show on the disabled population or physically challenged population and find out how we can assist them in general, how we can lobby for opportunities and monies and in general for them. Anyway, it's time to go. I see they're having more press conferences at the office of the Prime Minister. Every other day they have a press briefing. Every other day. Anyway, has been Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry. You have a wonderful day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.